Hey guys, I'm Tibor, I'm an addict. Sorry, wrong meeting. Hey guys, I'm ReOrder, I'm a trance music producer. Is anybody here interested in trance music? Okay, a lot of hands up. Well, if you don't know me, as I said, I'm ReOrder, that's my artist name. My real name is Tibor, and I've been producing trance music since 1997, 98. Professionally from 2006. I'm an exclusive artist on Armada Music for past 4 years, and I've been doing this for quite a while. And during COVID, I actually started to teach. I started my own thing called readyformasterclass.com, for which my beautiful wife was handing out these discount cards. If you want to check it out, it's filled with all sorts of courses to help you with music. I also work with Armada University closely, and that's why I'm here today, speaking to you and maybe showing you some tips and tricks on how to make music. So, anybody here is already a producer of trance music? Like, raise your hands up like super high. Okay, perfect. So I expect that all the others are complete beginners or just interested to know how things are done, right? Okay, cool. Alright, so I was thinking like, what should be my talk about, and what should I present to you? And I couldn't come up with anything, because, making trance music, first of all, is about, putting your ideas down and creating something that comes from your heart. Trance is a very emotional music, but it's also very technical music. Many people think that making trance is very easy, which is actually very easy. It can be super easy, but many people make it very complicated, So how about we just start this way? I'm going to show you some basics on how to make a trance track in about 45 minutes, okay? So we're going to try that. Let's see how it goes. But first of all, when you're making trance music or any dance music, what you need is a kick. Okay, kick is that sample that does this sound. Okay, so that's what we need. So we're going to look for some nice kick. I have some sample packs here that I downloaded off internet for free from some guy named ReOrder. My friend Ilan Bluestone said he makes amazing packs, so let's see what he has. Okay, no sound is coming out. Let's check it out. Probably this one. Guys, there's no sound coming out. Excuse technical difficulties. There is nothing coming out of this. So let's do the HDMI. There's still nothing. Oops. What did you do? Let's try again. So we'll have to do a trance track in 40 minutes. But we can make it. I'm pretty sure we can. Oh yeah. Display board. Yeah? Try it this way. Should just try and put in the plug-in and see if it works. Yeah, definitely there's no sound coming out right now. Well, we can work without the sound, can we? Beautiful, so we have the sound. Okay, good start. Actually, I'm so happy that it actually turned out this way. Okay, so let's pull in a kick. So, why do we need kick? Well, we are making dance music, and the center of attention in your track always should be the kick. Like, people are like, melody is the most amazing thing. Yeah, melody is amazing, but people can't dance to just melody, because it's dance music. So let's pick a kick. Interesting. I actually like this one. Let's put it in. So I'm just gonna put it into the MIDI file. Over here it says drop instrument or sample here, so poof, and we have a kick. Let's make a 1 bar MIDI over here. Actually, I have a mouse. Maybe I could use it, be faster. Where's the Bluetooth? Oh my god. Bluetooth. How do you spell Bluetooth? Bluetooth, I see it now. Yeah, perfect. Alright. Armada. How about this mouse? Come on, baby. Yay. What's this? Connect. Perfect, so we have a mouse, even better. Okay, so we're gonna right click here and just highlight this a little bit. So far away, I forgot my glasses. So, insert MIDI clip, and just real quick, 1/4 C3 is the basic start for any sample. You can use this little button to hear what you're doing. I don't like it because it's just loud. By the way, if your sounds over here sound too loud, you can always turn it down here. Yeah, and it's gonna be a little bit better. So we have the kick, but we don't have the right BPM. Since we're in trance, we would be moving somewhere between 132 to 138. People are all really interested in 138 BPM. It's somehow always worked with trance. I like to do it a little bit slower at around 134 to 136, because then it's a little bit more groovy, and you can always speed it up when you mix it as a DJ. So you can get away with much more groove when you're working in lower BPMs. Like a little tip. So we have a loop of this kick. Let's make it let's make it 30 seconds, about this much. Now we're also going to need some sort of a bass line. So how about we just come up with some quick bass? You know, it doesn't have to be anything special. So let's say we can actually use Wavetable, but I'm gonna use Serum, which is one of my favorite plugins, because it's so versatile. You can just basically do whatever you want. So let's go to ReOrder. Yeah, let's use this. And there is a bass over here. It says classic basic offbeat. Let's see. Why not? Maybe a little bit too harsh. So we're gonna play around with this one and just make our own real quick. That is what you need. Put it 2 octaves down. Put some filter on it, some envelope as well, real quick. You know, why we're doing this, we're basically telling the cutoff, which is almost like you have to think about this as an EQ, and we're creating a bass. So, there is it, our super quick trance bass line. And because I am super lazy today, how about we do this in A minor, which basically means we're going to be using all the white keys from A up and down. This is called minor. Minor is one of the best scales you can use for trance music, because it's very dreamy and it's very sort of like sad, you know, melancholic, and people just love it. So we're gonna be using A and just a typical trance offbeat bass line, super easy, like this. Let's see how it sounds. I think I'm in the wrong key, but yeah, I'm definitely in the wrong key. So I'm gonna just highlight this whole thing, hold shift on my keyboard and put it down. So I have a super basic offbeat bass line. I don't know how it sounds because I can't hear it from here, but I'm gonna pretend it sounds good. But I can always check if it sounds good. I can take the EQ right from here, EQ8, put it on my bass line and have a look what's happening. And if you make this bigger, you can actually see this. The first harmonic here, this is called fundamental. Okay, this is where your bass has the most power. And now when you look at the EQ, it's separated into 4 parts. 0 to 100, 100 to 1K, 1K to 10K, and 10K up. Basically what it means that this is your sub. This is the place where your kick and sub bass are playing. Nothing else can play here when kick and sub is on. If it does, it's gonna create just mess, okay? It's not gonna sound good. Your mix down will be horrible, and you will be like, oh my god, why my kick is not punching through so hard? This is the issue. So every time kick and bass is playing, you're gonna click here in whatever other sound, and just you're gonna cut it, sort of like this. So this button thingy is hitting 100. It's like the quickest thing you can do. You can always like move around and adjust, but with the sub bass, what I want to do, I'm just gonna cut like 40 hertz because I don't need this hum in the below, because it's actually coming from the kick. so it's a little bit cleaner. With a kick, you don't have to care about the sub for now. You know, everything looks good. I don't know how the volumes are right now, but I can look in my mixer, and I see my kick is around here, -6-ish, 7, and bass -9. This is perfect. That's what you want to see. The sub bass a little bit lower. This is uplifting trends. You want this kick to be hitting hard. Okay, great. We have this. How about we add some percussions? The easiest way you can do this, you can take the drums from 909 kit over here. We're going to pretend we are Giuseppe Ottaviani and just use 909. Because you have all the amazing percussions right here. You have your ride, you have your crash, you know, and you have your closed hi-hat, and you have your open hi-hat. All the typical trend sounds. So let's just do this super quick. Where is the hi-hat? Open. Here we go. Oopsie. Percussion. And you can already hear it's pretty loud, so let's just put like -4 dB. It's a little bit better. You always have to think about the thing that the kick is the loudest thing in your track, okay? Okay, let's duplicate this real quick so we get these percussions out of the way. Let's make a short hat. That's this one, closed hat. So why are we using this one? We want to make the track feel like the pace is a little bit faster. So we're using this closed hat, and it's gonna make like this effect that it's pretty fast. But you have to be careful with the volume. So let's go with -8. So we already have something, and it wouldn't be trance if we didn't have a clap. So I'm gonna create one more MIDI track and look for a clap. Let's like clap. And again, I'm gonna go to this guy. Some really cool claps. I like this one. I think I used it in Fiji remix. So again, import real quick. Done. I'm pretty sure everybody here knows these little basic things, so let's be really quick with that. There we go. So we have the bass for our track, and it took us only about 5 minutes. So this is all you need. You don't have to try to be crazy here. This is just percussions. Nobody in the world cares about percussions. People are there for the music and to dance, okay? So melody, kick and bass, percussions, you can use loops, whatever you want. Don't be shy to use loops. Just the more you spend time on percussions, the less music you will make in your career. That's like I know I spent hours and hours making the best bass line, trust me. Now this is my bass line. Yeah, we did it like in a second. Cool, so we have all of this now, super happy, but how about, you know, this closed hat over here? You know, it's just, when it plays together with a kick, it doesn't sound nice. So how about we use something called sidechain? Now sidechain is a very great tool. Somebody invented it like 20 years ago. And what it does, it basically makes it, when the kick is playing, the sound is ducking, and then it goes up as the kick goes away. I recently found out a better way how to use sidechain in this thingy. Put a compressor on the thing you want to sidechain. I'm gonna sidechain this time with the kick, which is over here, and I leave the EQ on, so I'm only using the high end from the kick. And then my settings basically is no attack, and I'm going to be playing with the release and the threshold. So look what's going to be showing right here as it looks, okay? So first I'm going to put the threshold down, and it's starting to recognize the kick. That's a very big threshold. And now I'm just going to increase the release, and it's starting to, let's use the peak. Yeah, that's better. See, and it's like create this nice curve. So when I play it now with a kick, it's just gonna be absolutely perfect. Let's do more threshold. A little bit less release. And it makes it pumping effect. I can actually take this and use it in my sub bass to a little bit more clean up the space in between the kick and bass. Maybe not so much, that's like, but just a little at least. So this is like the quick version. Okay, so we have our basics. Let's play it. We're happy. Okay, because it's trance music, we're probably going to need some intro. So this is our intro, let's say 30 seconds. So our sub bass is gonna start right here. And how about we will have no percussions playing in there, Then maybe somewhere here, the hi-hat will start playing together with the clap, and the close hat will come over here. We're gonna add some effects a little bit later, and this will be our transition sort of over here. So I'm already like eyeballing what I'm going to do. And somewhere here, I'm gonna add my first sort of a melody. Now I'm gonna need a melody, so how about we insert the MIDI track, let's put in another serum, I can just copy this one. And I'm gonna start with something super simple. I'm gonna take a pad. ReOrder. Pad. Let's do JP8000. Beautiful. Sounds like trance already. So let's do like 8-bar melody. That's like the easiest. I'm gonna be using like 2-bar length. So as I said, we start with A, which is this one. So that's gonna be my first note of my sort of like a pad melody. So let's solo this so we can hear it. And I want this to be the bass, so I'm gonna like put it down by 1 octave. Now when you're creating like some basic melody, the easiest thing you can do is just copy this, Command-C, Command-V, or Control-V, Control-V, C, and poof, 1 octave up, okay? And now I'm just gonna make the simplest chords in A minor. Basically what I'm doing, I'm skipping every second note, or I can just click here, Scale, and I'm gonna pick A and minor. This tool was introduced to Ableton. This is lifesaver. To be honest, I don't know how to play piano. I don't know how to play any instrument except my wife's nerves. And this really helps, because when you're starting music, you can like put this scale in. It helps you so much. But you need to understand at least basics of chords. So how to create a basic chord, you always skip 1 note, and the chord means 2 notes and more at the same time playing, okay? So we make the basic A minor chord. Sorry, like this. Okay? And now how I'm continuing, so I make like a catchy melody. Like when you want to make a catchy melody, you want the melody to be loopable. So it means that it always finds next note in like a next following chord. So to make sure that this happens all the time, I'm gonna pick one of these to be my next bass note. So how about I'm gonna go with E. So E was gonna be my next one. The alt is a little bit fishy. And again, I'm going to make a basic chord, so I get this. Now I'm looking and I have G and I have B. I don't like B because it's a devil's note, you know, like it just sounds horrible. So I'm gonna pick G as my next bass note. I'm just continuing. So what I'm creating, basically, I'm telling that, okay, I want to have common notes in there. If you think like there is no common note with this one, common note means that it continues the next one. Look at, there's E here, there's E here. So I do have common notes. Here I have 2 common notes, so happy. And then we have D, and we have, that looks like a B. I don't want to use that, so how about we use the D? It's gonna be a pretty dark melody, I see. Okay. Oh my god. Dude. Did you guys party last night? Hands up if you partied. Who has headache right now? Nobody? Cool. Alright, so we have the basic chord structure. Let's have a quick play. Yep, it sounds nice, but it's pretty generic, so how about we do some inversions? Inversions means, like, there is official term and there is my term. My term is you take any notes and you switch them up or down by octave, okay? The official, you have like first inversion, second inversion. It's, yeah, unnecessary. What I'm trying to do basically is to bring my notes closer together. So my chords would look somehow like this. Okay? And now they're going to sound a little bit different. The mood is going to change. And I'm really liking this one, and I think it can calm down the whole thing by just duplicating this and going up and down. So we get... Oh, sorry. This one. So we get a common note with this one, because there's actually no common note in the ending, so this is going to make sure. What I just did here, this thing, is called suspended note. Now, when you look at this, this was down here, and this was down here. So what I did, I took this one and put it one down. This is the second note, so what it is called sus2 or suspended note 2. Just a little trivia about music theory. And now my melody is looping, and it can just loop endlessly, and it's always going to sound good. So this is a great bass for like a melody. But we're going to need a bass line. How do we do it real quick? I'm just going to duplicate my bass, join this, pushing Command J, or right click and consolidate, or join and highlight both of these MIDIs, and now I see the bass. So I'm just going to click focus and move my bass line accordingly to the bass notes of the part. So it is basically saving me so much time. And here we go. I'm pretty sure we're going to be needing some sort of sidechain, so I'm just going to copy this one because that sounded pretty cool. I'm going to turn this one even further down, like to -8. Amazing. Wow. Okay, so we're gonna make like a little bit of a transition here with this because it would be horrible if it just goes, you know, from nothing over here like this. It just doesn't make sense. So how about we tame it down? So we're gonna be using this filter here. It's called modulation knob that is assigned to this cutoff, and we're just gonna filter down a little bit. And we're gonna go up. So since I already touched it and I push A on my keyboard, it's gonna play a note because I had this on. But now I turned on and I see the filter here. Whatever I touch, it's gonna reveal a light right here. This is why I like Ableton. It's so fast. So I'm just gonna start like from, this was nice, about here. I'm gonna make a little curve so it goes up. So I'm just gonna come closer to this, push Alt, and it's gonna show me this little, like a bracket thingy, and you can just make curves. Beautiful. Or you can right click and you can make an ugly curve. This one. It's really ugly. I don't like it. And I'm old school. We didn't have these predetermined curves when I started, so that's pretty. It's pretty harsh right now, right? So remember what I told you about the bass line. When you look at the EQ, oh my God! Somebody kill it with fire. So we're gonna cut it down, because we don't need that bass. So it's slowly coming up, and it's still a little bit too harsh. So when we get towards here, it's going up. And again, we can like do the same thing as we did here, but I'm just gonna like do it a little bit differently. I'm gonna take this short hut, and we're gonna start right from the beginning, adding the short hut in, but only like offbeat. So it's gonna go like. Why I'm doing it? Because it's gonna be pretty empty, and we want to have some, you know, movement. So it's gonna feel like it's moving a little bit faster, like this. Okay, already now I know I need some effects. So let's just do this real quick. We're gonna need some sweep down, which is sound like psh. We're gonna need some snare, which is, and we're gonna need a crash sound and a reverse crash sound. So I'm just gonna type crash, and let's go to the sample bag again. Maybe I should. What did I write? Oh my God. Crash. That's even worse. Okay, crash cymbals. Yeah, whatever. This sounds pretty cool. I know I'm gonna need it here. Let's go -8 or 9. Perfect. This is 138, so I'm just gonna warp it to the correct BPM. And I'm just gonna copy it a bunch of times to get to exactly where I need to get. Perfect. Now we need a reverse crash, so let's come over here. Yeah, why not? So as you see, it's like basically like building Legos, you know? And let's say that making music is building Legos, at least to me. Maybe there is a better reverse crash. This is ugly. Yeah! Cool. You can say I'm in a good mood for producing. I feel like I have so many ideas. This one seems like okay. I'm not going to even warp it because it ends exactly 1/4 before. It's one of the things I really like about reverse crashes when they have this little gap, because it then emphasizes the drop. Like you can hear it right here. it gives you like sort of that whip effect. It's pretty loud. Okay, this should be fine. We have some effects here. Let's see. Nice. All right. I said we're gonna need some sweep down and snare. So let's look for snare. We don't have time to create a snare roll right now, so we're just gonna pick any, you know, snare roll. And if I can't find any, okay, we're gonna be creating a snare. So let's. Okay, this takes too much time. 909, here we go. Remember, keep using these sounds because they're familiar sounds. It's like 909 right now, it's like a sound of violin, you know? It's so familiar that people just like hearing it because it sounds familiar. So let's make like a little snare fill. So let's insert the MIDI track and let's look for the snare drum, which is right here. And here we go. Woo! I wish there was a button where you just say fill in. Okay, so we have the snare. Now we have a few options. We want to make a ramp, so we can either automate the volume, or we can automate it inside the MIDI, or we can use utility. I prefer using utility because then I don't have to, you know, when I need to, like, let's say I was producing, I was like going crazy, and suddenly my channels are clipping on the master, so I'm like, I did something wrong, I need to turn it all down, and then 10 of the channels are already being automated. So it's better to use utility if you want to automate volume, because then you can just, you know, put things down if necessary, like change the volume, especially when you're mixing. So let's start with like -18, and this is gonna be -8. See, I'm already trying to sort of like produce in with some reserved time, see? So I'm having some headroom because I want to avoid clipping. I want to have my sound as clean as possible. Let's have a look at the utility. It sounded pretty loud. Okay, it actually sounded pretty low. So let's go -4. Not bad. I'm happy. We probably just keep everything as is over here because it's not bad. We can play around with this. We don't have much time for some, you know, crazy stuff. But how about we just, you know, add some pluck or arp to this? So let's insert another MIDI track. Now, do you want to use Spire or keep using Serum? Spire. Okay. What's your favorite plugin, by the way? Like Analog Lab. I love that. I love that. You? Diva? Oh, I love Diva. Diva is amazing. Hive too. Oh, never tried that one. I recently got Repro. So good. Okay, let's have a look at Spire. It's one of my favorite plugins too. It's like next best thing after Silent. Okay, so we're gonna look for some presets. We have some favorites here. Here we go. And lead Fiji. Interesting. Let's have a look. Yeah, that would be nice. Or it's always hard to pick a right sound, but I'm gonna start with this Fiji thing. I'm just gonna make it simple. So we already have like some bass, and now when you're making this like a pad, you know, it just changes and it doesn't really carry any tension. And I want to give this a little bit more tension before I unleash some sort of a melody. And for that, I like to use arps. And arps is like this repeating sound. It goes like or dun 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 dun. So how about we do it something like this? And when I look at this whole thing, and this is A minor, and you look at here, you have this E practically like repeating all the time. So how about I just do something with this E sound, and then find another tone, maybe this D and C, or A. This might sound weird, but let's try this. We go E, D, and A, and we're just gonna be repeating these 3 notes. Just eyeballing it, not trying to be any special. So 116, we're gonna find our A. It's right here. The sound is super loud. So that's gonna be my first thing. And how about we do it like this? That's A. Let's try it like this. Might sound horrible, but still want to try. Ah, it's not that bad. Could be worse. Still worse. We're almost there, I guess. We're getting to something nice. Too predictable. Almost there. See, it's so hard sometimes to come up with like something. I like this. So that's gonna be like, and that actually sounds good. It's not bad. So now we want this to sound a little bit more plucky. So all we need to do is just put a cut off down. Again, it's already all set up for this preset. So. And how about here in the end, it's just gonna do something else. Instead of going down, it's gonna go up to, let's say G. Let's see how it's gonna sound. Yeah, that's nice. So we're gonna be duplicating this, and you heard it. It like creates tension as the bass line is changing, and this remains the same. It's like it gives you this good feeling, like, oh my God, what's coming next? That's so nice, so warm. Give me more, ReOrder, yay! Yeah. So, and that's what you want. What do I do? Where is it? There you go. Sorry, I don't usually use my laptop for production. So it's a different keyboard. All right, so we have this. Let's automate that cutoff. So we start like somewhere from here, and we're gonna be building it up, and like fully open. We're gonna play around with this, so it's a little bit more. There's more tension, and over here we're just gonna unleash the whole thing. So we have this. Boom. We have all our bass lines and kick, and it's all nice and bubbly. We have the snare right here. By the way, if you want to copy something with automation, you turn off this automation lock, then you just hit Alt on your keyboard and copy. I'm gonna do this twice because I want to use this. Over here I want to have this little gap because we're gonna go from a place, I call it from lower energy potential to higher energy. So it means like it's like a drop. So if you leave this little gap, it just makes people feel really good. Okay, I'm gonna put this in. Again, a little gap. And we can delete this whole thing. And we can actually delete this kick here. And we can add a little crash here. Sort of. Yeah, almost there. And we're gonna need this melody. And now this melody here, it can change, but I liked how it didn't because it just sounded cool. So let's have a quick listen to what we are working with right now, maybe from here. Gonna add some EQ. So the serum is not prominent enough, and there's so much low end there. So let's just fix that real quick with EQ. We want to have some noise. Trance people love noise. We just can't go too overboard, okay? I like this. Still, this thingy could have something called layers. So how about we insert one more MIDI track and we add a little bit of a plucky layer to it, because it lacks body. By body I mean it lacks low mid frequencies. As I showed you before, we have these 4 separation B thingies. So low mid is something from 100 to 1K, okay? This is your low mids. And we are lacking something around here. So how do we do that? We just add a pluck. Now, pluck is the most easiest thing in the world, and I'm a big fan of plucks. My friend Standervig used to call me king of plucks. And it's just, you know, pluck is the easiest sound because it's basically a bass line that has been pitched up by 2 octaves. So if we started with this, we turn it into pluck. Remember when we did the bass line, is all you need to do is this, with 24 dB per octave slope, and just this. Might not sound like much, but just give it a second. 2 notes. That's nice. Let's play it not as a bass line, but as our pluck here. And let's play around with it. There's this one amazing preset in Ableton. If you go to audio effects over here, and you pick, where is it? Multiband dynamics and multiband compression, and just put it on before the EQ, okay? It just lifts the sound up. But this is missing few things. It's missing the delay, it's missing the reverb. Now I can use delay from here, no problem. Why not? We'd go 1/8D and a 1/4. It's like best. Not bad, but it's still missing some reverb. So there's this pack by a company called Ableton, which made this reverb pack a long time ago, and it's really good. Some really good reverbs there, and it's for free for download, so if you want to check it out. Otherwise, I like to use Valhalla Reverb. It's cheap and it does the job really well, so that's like one of my favorites. So let's go to the preset, audio effects, reverb. Reverb is a space effect, by the way. It basically places things in space, like, I mean, like, let's say in a church. And basically what we use it in sound is just to make things feel like they are wider, bigger, but what they actually do is they place things further away from you. Okay, so be careful with that, and try not to use reverb on kick unless you're doing techno, because then it would feel like, oh my god, where's that kick coming from? It's like, it's weird. Okay, so over here, this is the Ableton, and we're gonna look for Trance Lead over here. I'll just put it on top. Preferably EQ will be the last. Nice. Super happy about this. It's actually turned out much better than I expected. Let's give it a little bit of drive and less cutoff. If I want, I can give this like extra layer, maybe like this, and you have to turn this on. So it's like quieter, but it makes like that click. Super happy. Now the EQ, how I do this with plugs, I usually go for like 140 cut, and then I raise this in the middle, just to give it that energy I'm looking for. Also, it's very loud. Now to save time, I'm just gonna copy this whole thing. Command C, Command V, and here we go. Serum, and we're gonna be automating that cutoff, but just slightly, so we don't need as much. So this thingy can actually get down a little bit more. We can use the volume as well, utility, because we want to have more energy when this whole thing drops at bar 49. Come on. Ugh. Technology. Come on. Oh, I'm the wrong audio effect, sorry. Utility, one more time. Take 2. Okay, now it's working. So we're gonna automate the volume, as I said, as well. From here to here. By the way, guys, if you have any questions as I go, please stop me if I'm going too fast. Ask questions, whatever you like. Okay, how it sounds here. Now you see what I mean. This is the body of the sound. No body. Still, I can turn it down. Let's see how it's gonna sound. So now I'm just gonna take both of these because they're, you know, messing up with my rhythm. I'm gonna group them. I'm gonna take the compression where I have it on this serum, and I'm just gonna put it on that group, and I'm gonna call this, let's say, like plucks. Nice. So now with the sidechain, it should have a little bit more pump. So you can hear the difference. Okay, we are getting slowly to our breakdown, and we still have time for that, so we might actually be able to do something here. Cool, so we make this a little bit longer, this snare over here. Towards the end, well, we can just add again our reverse crash and our crash. And to introduce the breakdown, we're gonna need some, you know, short bridge before we get into the full thing. So how about we have like this much space? And we want to bring more tension to that, so we're just gonna take these notes and just let them go. Maybe like this much. Or we can like do something like this, where we're gonna do some sus notes, you know, and reintroduce some craziness into this melody. Sort of like this. And we'll see if it sounds good. Oh God, come on. Okay, so this will be our, like a bridge. And that's where we restart the whole thing. So again, Alt, and make this a little bit steeper. We can go all the way down. We're gonna, of course, need our pluck, and we're gonna need this one, you know, to do basically the exact opposite. It's gonna go down. So again, real quick, Alt, here we go. And it needs to disappear fully, because otherwise it's gonna sound horrible. So we're gonna use automation of the volume here as well, like this, so it slowly and nicely, steadily disappears into nothing. Here we go. I'm gonna add this reverse crash here, but I'm gonna lower its volume because it doesn't need to be so loud there. And now we can come up with some sort of, you know, we can keep this playing, you can add some more elements like vocals, whatever you want. But I like how this sounds, and maybe we can just start adding like a melody. I like this lead that we used here, so how about we use that to create a main melody. Now, to create a main melody is, again, I'm the strong believer of the thing that music production should be easy, it shouldn't be hard, it should flow naturally. So why to make your life hard? So let's make a generic melody. Okay, so how do we make the easiest melody? You have your chords, okay, and we're gonna select also our lead over here using a command. Should select both of them, click one more time, and click one more time. I'm gonna focus on the leads. Now, how do I do this? Let's do like a classic trance ARP sound. So what we're gonna need for that? We're gonna need a bass note, and we're gonna need top notes or melody notes and connecting notes. So let's see how we do that. First, we select the pencil just by pushing Command or Control B, and we start with some simple ARP, which most of you probably know very well. Maybe I should do something like this. It probably is gonna sound horrible, but right? Nah. Let's go back. I want to do Trance ARP. I already like, I don't know how about you, but when I produce music, I somehow can hear those melodies in those chords. It just somehow comes, and I hear this idea, but because I don't have a musical background, it takes me ages to do it sometimes. But if you have an idea, try follow it. Even when you like have a melody in your mind, try hum it into your phone or whistle or whatever. Today we have AI programs that can actually take that melody and put it in here. Like, I can show you how it's working. It's fun. It's just like, and you right click and you go turn melody into MIDI, and it just figures out the MIDIs for you. It's not super clever, but it works. Okay, so let's do like the simplest of simple trance melodies that everybody knows. Just gonna be following the fundamental A, and over here we're gonna use our notes from the chord. Oh, that actually might be nice. And then over here, we're just gonna continue just duplicating this, taking this note. Let's try using the actual A, because I'm hearing like it should go really down. I'm gonna turn off the pad so it doesn't stay in the way. That's actually nice. And how about I'm just changing the bass, and you see over here that E continues, so I'm gonna use it again. And now I don't want to go too low, so how about I try this mid note? You know, I'm still following the chord notes. And now here's the thing about melodies. If I do this, that I have a bar up and bar down, bar up, bar down, I'm giving people something to hang on to. It's like a hook. You basically, people will now be expecting that this is going to happen again and again and again. And this is how you make a good melody. It can be with the rhythm, it can be with the notes that you use, it doesn't matter. But once you get this looping thingy going on, that's what people expect to hear. If you will not give it to them, the dopamine effect doesn't hit, they are not satisfied, okay? So think of it as a Facebook, you know, you have to give them the dopamine. Alright, so we're gonna follow the notes again because we want to make this super simple. And here we go one more time. And here is when I'm going to do something unexpected. We did repeated it. It's like sounding like it's gonna be okay. But over here, how about we try something else when we end the melody? You see over here we have this G, octave lower. How about we try using the G here? So now this is like the surprise moment, and then over here we end it with basically coming back to where we started before, and we're gonna go down to A, and it should actually, if we go down to E, we can loop this forever and it's gonna sound great. So let's do it. I'm still not sure it's gonna sound good, but I feel. Nice. So basically this is a very generic melody, okay? But because of what we did here, it turns from generic to like, okay, this is surprising. It might be something that is useful. Now how to make this melody a little bit nicer? You see all these notes in between those chord notes, they are called connecting notes. So you can connect your melody to whatever is coming. So how about we try just like, you know, simple things like this. Just move some notes here and there. You know, and you can play around with this like endlessly. I think we have like a couple seconds, so let's just try doing that. This one's gonna go up. This one's gonna go up because we're gonna go continue with here. This is a tricky one, so we're just gonna let it be. And this is a tricky one, so we're just gonna move it like this. And it can move endlessly. Now I'm actually don't like this, so I'm so unhappy. That's better. So because I use this note, it lost that energy that it had before. So I bring it back. It's like a, you know, a slide, so then it feels a little bit smoother. That's why we use these connecting notes. So now we have a melody. This is our first layer. We also have this pluck, and how about we add another more layer, and I'll show you how to make this sound like super lush. And then I think we have even time to make a pretend drop. So let's bring in the pluck back. Gonna copy this value because that was like what we wanted. We don't have time to, unfortunately, to make more melodies. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, this is gonna work. Alright, so we have this. We're gonna fully open this and this. Let's add third layer, as I said. So inserting one more MIDI track, I'm gonna use Serum again. Sorry, Serum. And I have this one lead that I did in my first Serum sample pack. And I call it Legendary Saw. And I freaking love it. I probably use it too much now, but it just works. It gives you that right feel when you play around with it. So, oof. Let's delete this automation, put it all the way down. This is how it sounds on its own. It's a little bit too low, so let's bring it up. Now it's a little bit too open for our breakdown, so I'm gonna take this little blue thingy and just turn it down a little bit more. And we're gonna play with the filter to lift it up. So we're gonna do exactly the same as we did here and here. And let's now play it maybe from here to see how it sounds, the whole thing. Let's add a kick. Pretty good. What do you think, guys? Good? Awesome. Okay, let's do the pads. So now, again, I'm lazy. I'm gonna copy this automation from here and just do the same thing. But I wanna go like all the way down. So when it opens now, nice. I would say that we need one more layer of the pads as well, because there's not enough energy. Or what we can do, we can play with these leads. So remember, I use this reverb here on the pluck. I'm gonna take it away. I'm gonna put it on our group over here before utility. Then turn off the reverb here on this spire because we don't need it anymore. Turn off the reverb on this serum because we don't need it anymore, because we'll be using the one on the group. Let's see how it's gonna sound now. It's doing its job very well. Okay, we're gonna be needing first EQ. We're gonna need EQ for each individual lead. To put them together, we're gonna be creating a lead stack. So I'm gonna solo it here, right there, and just gonna loop this selection. Let's start with the lead number 1. One more time. So this one, I call it a top lead because it has that very nice top shimmer on top, and I want to make use of that. You know, I like that. And it also has nice low mids, like. So this is where it sounds good to me. If I turn off this, which I don't need in a breakdown. We're actually going to be taking this out because we're going to be EQing the whole group, so I don't need to cut it out, but I'm going to cut out like this. Okay, now let's add a pluck to it. A little bit too loud. Nice. And now let's add a third layer. See, I'm always adding one and after the other, and I'm reaching with an EQ is like it's like a scalpel, and you're just carving the sound and listening how it sounds. And when it sounds good, just leave it. If it sounds bad, then look where it actually sounds good. People are big fans of cutting. I'm actually a big fan of boosting, so I'm boosting. Okay, this is very loud. So you can hear how it sounds, like really feeling the sound. Great, but this is not finished. We need to glue these leads together so they feel like one. Otherwise people will know, he's stacking leads. Well, people will probably never think that, because if you don't know how to produce music, you probably not think about it, so doesn't really matter, but we want to make it sound nice. So we're gonna take the glue compressor over here, which is an amazing tool. Please start using it. And we're gonna glue them together. So what I'm looking for is, attack will be 10 milliseconds short, and my release will be automatic, which means long. So what happens now, it's basically over time is going to try to equalize the volume of the leads as they play. So it doesn't matter how, and you want this to go like 1 dB tops, okay? So very, very gentle. Just like a little glue. And then, after the reverb, we're gonna use one more, attack 10 milliseconds, but the release will be short. Actually here, we could do no attack, but yeah, let's do it like this. And this time, we want to go up to 5. We're trying to make that like a wall of sound. So what's basically going to happen, the lead will be overpowering the reverb. So when the transient of the lead, the tick, 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 hits, it's going to duck the reverb down. But then, when it goes down, the reverb goes up. So it makes the whole sound wide and full. Not sure if you can feel it. And then we have this final EQ where we are actually going to be cutting stuff down, and we're going to be cutting it for our drop and for over here. And we're going to go for 144. Don't ask me why, it just sounds nice, 144. Because 12 times 12 is 144, that's why. Okay, and this is going to continue until we get to the drop, and our drop will be approximately here. This is where the drop will be. So we're just going to copy this whole thing. And this is going to be our transition to the drop. Doot. No, oh, yes. Save lives at S. That's a very good thing to do. Let's just call it Armada University Kings of Trance. Here we go. And the folder will be AU. So you guys are now Kings of Trance. Congratulations. Okay, we duplicate this, and I want to have this like automated as it goes, so 144. So we get like a slow, slope. It's nice and natural, people will not notice that the low end disappeared and it's being substituted by kick and sub bass suddenly. Okay, we're gonna need this, we're gonna need this. See how easy is it to produce music? It's just fun. And we're gonna need the kick and bass, right? So kick, and it's here. We're gonna need our percussions. We're gonna make a super big drop. Oh my god. Not now. Sorry about that. So rude of me. Okay, well, let's finish up these leads right now here. We already have the ducking coming in. Yeah, add a little bit more high end. We'll actually make it a little bit more stereo using the mid side. So on the sides we're gonna make it wide, or you can use the utility. Perfect, and this is gonna be the transition. Now let's make it something fast. I think I have 4 minutes. We can do this. Here we go. Oh. See? One bar. No! Ah! What's so funny? And we're gonna leave this loud bar here, because that sounds good. The pattern will go like this. We'll just very, very simple. 1, 2, 3. Oh my god, what's happening? Okay, that's better. Now for the automation, I just want to like tame everything down here. Tame. Like this, and just basically make the build again. Like that. We can leave this little gap, remember? Like this. The snare, same thing. And we can keep the leads. With the leads, we just have to like do all of these automations, unfortunately, one more time. So 1 bar, down, up, copy. Now I'm gonna make my life much easier by just taking this automation. Oh my god. And copy it over here, from here to this serum cutoff. Now this is a complicated one, so just give me a second. And I'll be doing this one. And on this one, it looks horrible, but you can always take this and pull it down in the middle, so it saves you time. I'm gonna open this one up a little bit more. Perfect. So we have that transition done. Everything sounds like it might be actually cool. So how about we just have a quick listen to what we did? Maybe a down sweep would be nice. Sweep. Sweep, 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 sweep. Sweep. Nothing? Oh my god. Effects. 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 Snares? Claps? Yes, use this one. That one always works. Please don't use it. I used it too many times. Our tracks will be clashing when we mix them together. Okay, and the leads, we're just gonna pull them down by 2 dB just in case. And let's have a listen to what we did today, guys, okay? Let's do it. I'm gonna be moving things around as we go. Forgot about the low end in the breakdown. Notice that the low end on the leads in the breakdown is actually on, okay? We have the low end there because it gives you the energy. Thank you. Are we doing any Q&A?
Well, we have 2 minutes.
2 minutes. One question. Who wants to ask? Go.
I have a question. So often when you talk to, like you were talking about making it sort of simple, not too complicated.
Yeah.
And maybe a little generic in a sense sometimes. When you talk to A&Rs, they're usually talking about new and different and unique. And so how do you like balance it out?
Well, this, what I showed you, this is the easiest way how to get a proper sound. Okay, so it sounds good. So it doesn't sound badly mixed. You see, we just used basically nothing and it sounds pretty cool. This should get you to that point where it sounds okay. It's up to your creativity to make it not generic, okay? It's up to your own talents, up to your own ideas, up to what you lived through, you know? If you had a bad day and you feel like shit, sit down and make a melody. It's gonna be best, you know? Or wake up when you're in the morning, you're fresh, make a best melody. This is why I call it generic, because anybody can do this. It's really easy, but it's up to you, you know, adding some acid stops, make it, you know, groovy in the beginning, in the intro, adding vocals, vocal chops, other melodies, other arps, whatever you can find out, and giving it something from you. This should give you, imagine that this is a Lego without color, and you have to take the paintbrush and paint the Legos. So it looks nice, okay? Make the grass green, sky's blue, or if you're crazy enough and you want to do psytrance, make the grass purple, sky green, you know, whatever you like. So yeah, it's all down to you and your creativity. Everybody here sitting right now can be a really good music producer and make it in any scene. It's all about hard work, you know, learning and giving it something of yours. In the beginning, you can try to sound like someone else, like me, like Giuseppe Ottaviani, like Darren Porter, or whoever you want. But always try to strive towards making your own thing, okay? And when it makes people happy and it makes them dance, you're good. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. It was beautiful, and I hope to see you again. Check the cards that you got for the discount for Ready for Masterclass, and hope to see you somewhere online or Armada University or anywhere. Thank you. Ciao.